What's up, meatbags? I am the often imitated, never duplicated Frog Tony, and today we're discussing the latest stunt from Marvel Comics involving Spider-Man and Peter Parker. It's amazing. They got two stunts for the price of one. But let me get you up to speed in case you're not aware of what's going on. So Spider-Man recently went through the 8 trials of Sidorak. He had to fight Sidorak's children. Uh, he went through a sort of existential crisis, wanted to give up everything. There was nothing left to live for. Went through this whole thing, exposed Sidorak to what it means to be human, the human spirit. It was a really weird story. And after that, he faced off with a character called Hellgate. Now, Hellgate basically had a vision looking for the King of Steel Silk coming at Spider-Man, telling Spider-Man he needs to be better, he needs to be stronger. There was other voices saying basically, hey, you got to help Spider-Man reach his full potential. And after the fight, Spider-Man started being a little more edgier, a little more violent. He was willing to, take the fight to the criminals, to not stop, not let up, breaking legs, breaking hands, things like that, not worrying about injuring people, going pretty much full force on criminals, right? And so that is a little interesting story, right? We're going through some sort of story arc with Spider-Man. He's going through some changes, kind of interesting. But then we get this bombshell. In the current Amazing Spider-Man number 10, Spider-Man is confronted by Peter Parker, in which Peter Parker tells him, "You're not Spider-Man." My God. Well, then who is he, right? He's not Spider-Man. But that wasn't the only revelation, right? Because we also found out that is not Peter Parker. So now we have a fake Spider-Man and a fake Peter Parker. So that begs the question, where is the real Peter Parker, the real Spider-Man, and who is under this mask, and who is this fake Peter Parker, right? Again, this is such a publicity stunt, such a weird thing to do. You had a extra-dimensional character looking for Spider-Man specifically, but somehow did not recognize that the person underneath the Spider-Man mask wasn't Spider-Man. He wasn't briefed that, hey, maybe take the mask off, find out, that the guy that you're going after is the correct guy. So he attacks who he thinks is Spider-Man, but isn't, even though this character was supremely powerful, like I said, extra-dimensional, had senses. They had people looking in on Spider-Man. They were looking for him specifically. Forget all that. Let's just pretend like none of that happened, because I'm sure Marvel's going to have some really big twist, right? They're going to be like, oh, see, actually, they knew that the person wasn't Spider-Man, even though he was calling him Spider-Man, and even though he was going after him, he actually really knew it wasn't Spider-Man, because we have to tell you these lies in order to make the story make sense. But you're probably wondering, where is Spider-Man? Where is Peter Parker? Well, in Amazing Spider-Man 11, we find out that he is far, far from Earth, location unknown. And he's been there so long that he has a beard. Peter Parker is in an unknown location with a full beard. I don't know how long it takes Peter to grow a beard, so a week, 2 weeks, maybe, possibly longer. It all really depends. But he's been there for a little while, right? I have a feeling they're going to tell you that he was in this space, place, wherever, probably during the entire events of the 8 trials of Sidorak, the 8 deaths of Spider-Man, which again would make no sense, because Dr. Doom specifically used his Sorcerer Supreme powers to then pound off, he pawned this trials of Sidorak onto Spider-Man, so you would think that the Sorcerer Supreme would know that it was really Spider-Man under the hood or not, because he has all those magical abilities, but I guess he never checked under the hood. It's such a headache. It's such a headache. Every time Marvel does something that's slightly interesting, they have to go ahead and do something that is completely retarded. So now, what's the question is, who are those 2 individuals? Who is the fake Peter Parker? Who is the fake Spider-Man? Well, if you want further spoilers, don't worry, because we got them, thanks to Bleeding. The fake Peter Parker is none other than Ben Reilly. That's right, Ben Reilly is back again. The good clone turned evil clone turned Jackal turned evil clone turned wannabe Spider-Man suing Miles Morales is back, and he's been pretending to be Peter Parker. But for how long? And again, this really makes no sense. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because when we reveal who is underneath the Spider-Man mask, it is going to completely shatter this whole reveal. It's gonna show how incompetent the Marvel writers are. Okay, are you ready for this? Underneath the Spider-Man mask is none other than Norman Osborn. That's right, Norman Osborn has been parading as Spider-Man. He's underneath the mask. Now, if you're not following the latest things, he had got the Carnage symbiote, and then stuff happened, and now he's not so evil. He's actually been sort of Peter's mentor a little bit, right? They're going with that whole relationship where, hey, I was just a little nutso bananas, little cuckoo, but now the Carnage kind of expunged the whole Green Goblin identity from my mind. I'm just kind of a normal business guy doing normal business guy things, and me and Peter were pals, right? And so this revelation just spits in the face of the whole comic, and I'll tell you why. Because let's go back a couple of issues, right? Let's go back. This is number 11, but let's go back to issue number 9. Now, in Amazing Spider-Man number 9, Norman Osborn is talking to Peter Parker, or at least who he thinks is Peter Parker. But if Peter hasn't been Spider-Man and Norman has been running around as Spider-Man, then Norman would know that that's not Peter, right? Because if Peter stopped being Spider-Man, would be the only reason why Norman would start being Spider-Man. And he knows he's Spider-Man, and Spider-Man knows he's Spider-Man, and Spider-Man knows he's Green Goblin, and they know each other's secret identities. And wouldn't Peter be like, hey, Norman, I need help because there's some fake Spider-Man running around, but he doesn't even question it, right? And wouldn't Norman be like, hey, I've been filling in for you, or hey, I noticed there's a new Spider-Man, or hey, you haven't been out on patrol, right? No, they both avoid the issue. They have to avoid the issue. They have to not discuss this because that would hinder the big reveal, the big fake out, the big shocking moment where you go, oh my God, it's Norman Osborn under the mask. He's Spider-Man. But again, that only works if you lie to the audience. If Marvel Comics didn't lie to the audience and show you scenes like this where Norman Osborn is talking to Peter Parker and neither one are acting strange and neither one is suspecting the other one of hiding some secret, right? I mean, why wouldn't Norman Osborn just follow Peter Parker? Again, if he suspects that he's fake, if he knows that, I'm parading around as Spider-Man because Peter disappeared, then clearly something's up with this guy who's claiming to be Peter. Marvel Comics, this whole thing, this is ridiculous. It is obviously just a stunt, obviously just going to, try to grab headlines, trying to get people, oh my God, Spider-Man's actually Norman Osborn and blah, blah, blah. It's so stupid. This is Spider-Man. He doesn't need stunts. He doesn't need gimmicks. He doesn't need, these, oh my God moments. It's just Spider-Man. Just write Spider-Man comics. That's all people want to read, right? I mean, if you look at the Ultimate Spider-Man, people were enjoying that. Just Peter being Peter. But let me know, am I off? Are you enjoying this? Do you think this is a good fake out, a good reveal? Are you interested to see where it's going? Are you like, oh my God, I wonder where the real Peter is? And how long has Norman been Spider-Man? And how long has Ben Reilly been pretending to be Peter? And oh my God, does this change the whole Mary Jane revealing to Peter that she was actually Venom? Because that wasn't the real Peter that she revealed it to. So now she won't be mad at the real Peter, right? Again, it feels like a lot of cop-outs. It feels like they screwed up somewhere, and now this is just their attempt to clean everything up. I know comics are written well in advance, and that's probably not the case, and this is some weird storyline that they've decided on a long time ago, but they have not the ability to write it in a coherent manner that makes sense, right? This is a mystery in which it only works if they lie to the audience about the pieces of the mystery. But again, let me know what you think in the comments. Am I wrong? Do you like this? Am I right? Do you think this is stupid and ruining Spider-Man? But as always, love, peace, booty grease. We have this.